Hey, man, that voice right there, man, this man has come under many identities.
Hey.
You know, and brother from another planet.
That's right.
Right? What was it, PSC?
PSC is my brother in Mystic Journeymen. That's right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. We the same, though. But yeah.
The same, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Lucky Jam?
No, Lucky I Am. So
Lucky-
PSC, Lucky I Am, the other side of Mystic Journeymen.
Yes.
That's right. BFAP and PSC.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like special code, right?
It is.
It is special code.
It's Morse code for the underground, so y'all know how to where to go and channel through.
Okay. I love that. And
yeah.
I met this man just in the neighborhoods. I got him by a year or two.
Yeah. Don't tell him too much now. Don't tell him too much now. We ain't that old.
No, we not. We look great,
That's right.
motherfuckers.
Yes. We don't crack. We don't crack.
Up in this town business at it. And when I say this is town business at its finest, people got different interpretations of what Oakland is.
Yeah.
And it's not a monolith. It's not one-dimensional. It's many dimensions, right? And some of those dimensions don't get the exposure that others have.
That's real.
Not to knock the others that doing it, but Oakland has always been defined by a multitude of contributions and creations, right? And what living legends, Mystic Journeymen have done since the mid-'90s, right?
We telling too much. See, yes. Since
the
beginning. Since the beginning. Yeah, there we go. Since the beginning. We've been there. Kind of in the beginning.
But it's been, when you think of folks like Hobo Junction, when you think of folks like Souls of Mischief and the Hieroglyphics, right? When you think of, fast forward, LaRussell, when you think of E40 and the Click, that was way before Living Legends and Mystic Journeymen, but the thread, the mentality that artists have always had in our culture in Northern California, the DIY, do it yourself. We not going to wait on a major label to put our music out. We ain't going to wait on a major magazine to do an article on us. That's the spirit of where we come from. And I dare say, man, Living Legends, what you've done, Sunspot Jonz, personifies exactly what it means to come from where we're from.
Thank you, brother.
The way you've navigated this industry.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
I could do nothing but commend you. I could do nothing but have a standing ovation. I'm proud to be on the Bad to the Bones project. I got my own interlude, y'all.
You did.
And they spelled my name right on this one. Give me a round of applause.
Come on now, High Street, man. High Street, man. Come on.
High Street. MacArthur Blvd.
Giant Burgers, the car wash I grew up with, cleaning cars, all that,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man.
What's Giant Burgers you clean cars on?
Man, no, right next, Giant Burgers. And
that car wash on High
right next
right
door
on MacArthur?
Yeah, man, come on.
Come
High
on, man.
Street, MacArthur,
right
over
there.
man. Yeah. By Everett Jones Barbecue, man.
It wasn't there then,
It wasn't there then. It was a Chinese restaurant back then, but man.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah. We going back. KFC was right down the street.
Oh, it's still there. It's still there.
What's the other restaurant? The Bay, something on the Bay, Cafe on the Bay.
Oh wow, you taking me way back.
Yeah, that's still there. The hardware store.
Yeah, true. Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware.
Oh no, Laurel Hardware.
Yeah, that was more of a family business.
Family, that's right.
Right, come on, man.
We going down the block. If y'all walking with us, you walking with us right now.
You walk further down, you go to my junior high.
Hey,
Bret Hart Junior.
Bret Hart, that's mine.
That was mine too.
Come on, where Lords got robbed every weekend. Come on, man. Come on,
Lord's Ice Cream.
Yeah.
If you knew, we both went to. You went to Bret Hart.
I went to Bret Hart.
And
that's right, man.
Bret Hart.
I was on that 57 every day to get there, man. Come on, yeah, man. That's right. That's right. We got Oakland roots like that.
We got Oakland roots, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Sunspot Jonz is in the building. Get this man around.
Hey, legends. Hey,
yes.
Hey, and the greatest part is too, and we can even go back when you said Hobo, man. I was there at the Hyro Hobo battle. Remember, I was standing right behind you. I was there when the pop went pop. You know what I mean?
Pop.
Went pop. That's right, man. Come on, man.
We're gonna have a conversation today. That's a legendary battle that took place in Northern California with the Hobo Junction and the Hieroglyphics. And if you were there, this was before YouTube.
Yep. Yep.
But we had the sense to film that shit.
Yeah,
bro.
man, that was crazy, brother.
That
was crazy. That was one of the greatest times of my life because I knew hip hop was still emerging, and it wasn't just about the gangster rap thing that was always happening in the Bay. The underground was coming out, and KML, who we already know supports only a certain kind of sound, they all of a sudden was supporting the underground, and we was up there and we was like showing people what the skills were. Saphir, R.I.P. He was up there just killing it. You know what I'm saying? Hyro was killing it, and it was just a good battle.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good for the culture, Bay Area culture especially.
It was great because it was really about bars and freestyling.
Yep.
Freestyling and bars. But people were so passionate, Mike. You should have saw this. It was outside the KML building was a whole nother festival.
That was the second part of the whole thing. I told you the pop went pop. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother story.
But it was odd because people were passionate about what they do. They were invested in their art, the whole nine. We're talking Bay Area culture. Sunspot Jonz is here. Living legends.
Yes.
I try to explain the living legends to a lot of different folks. To me, you guys, the Living Legends Collective, I think really personifies what hip hop has always been about. When people felt disenfranchised by the systems or the institutions, we just went and did our own thing. Living Legends, when KML used to do the Summer Jam events that would not have artists like Living Legends on there. You guys would do your own
broke-ass Summer Jam.
Broke-ass Summer Jam.
And that was the thing because, the radio didn't want to support, artists that weren't paying into their playlist or wasn't paying into, whatever they was doing when it came to getting their money. So we was like, for all the people that don't have enough money to promote themselves to even be seen on this label, or all the people that don't have enough money to even really, be looked at as so-called professional, which is so fake in term. We're going to create our own festival. We're going to create our own thing. We're going to create our own community. We're going to create our own way of looking at hip-hop in the Bay, because in the Bay at one point it was only about rap. When I say rap, I mean more like the street gangster rap. And our stuff is about street, and like where we from, but we wasn't talking about killing and robbing and like, selling drugs. Our culture was built in a different thing. Ours was more of a conscious rap. And that's kind of like, I went to Berkeley High too. That's probably where some of that came out too. You know what I mean? Like, that whole hippie thing of like, being a little bit more grassroots to the ground and stuff like that. Even though I was from East Oakland, just like you, I was able to see both. Being able to go to Bret Hart Junior High, and then like after that going to Berkeley High, it was a big transition of understanding the contrast of what the Bay was. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what our music personified, is that like, contrast, that understanding of like, we're more than just one thing out here. You know what I'm saying? We get money, but we get money in a different way. We don't have to go out there and like risk our life and end up in jail like most of the people that grew up around me and went to, to a place that didn't understand they true potential. We was like, we realizing our true potential in every way, and we're gonna be respected for this, and you're gonna see us. You're gonna see us. That's what it's all about. You're gonna see us.
And we saw you, Living Legends, man. And I thought it was incredible. Even when you listen to this album, Bad to the Bone, right? And I want to say well, it's a few lyrics you say in different songs that I got identified with growing up in Oakland. I never sold drugs. You mentioned that, right? It was important to you.
It was important
to mention that,
because
it's this perception that everybody from Oakland took a certain path,
and it's not true,
right?
Yeah.
And you talk about having family members in the Acorns. And the Acorns, if you know, break down what the Acorns.
Man, the Acorns is like, hey, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's our projects in the West, on the West Oakland, but it's an area where, I don't know if a lot of people know about East Oakland and how West Oakland is, but it's two different mind states, and like, it's really. It gets raw out there. It gets raw in East Oakland, don't get me wrong, but it gets raw in the West. And, I had a lot of family members that's passed away out in the Acorns and in that area. And, it's just not – it wasn't the place where the positivity was seen. You know what I'm saying? So, now I work at Martin Luther King Elementary, the school that's over there, and like I see how kids, see themselves. And I see how I saw myself back then, and it was just a different world. You know what I'm saying? And it's just important for us to let people know that you can see yourself in a different light. You can be in a different place. You don't have to fall into every stereotype that everyone says about you.
Yeah.
Like that is just wrong. And you're not doing yourself justice because you're so magical. You're so powerful. You're so just like in a level that you will never see until you try to stop and see it. And that's what I'm about. That's what we're all about. When it comes to this Living Legends Underground motivation of picking yourself up and building a new experience for all of us.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. Sunspot Jonz is here. We talking about the Living Legends.
Hey.
Okay, so the Living Legends. Let's name the members. Let's give the members spotlight right now.
All right, so you already know it's Sunspot Jonz. It's PSC, also known as Lucky I Am. It's the Grouch.
Shout out to the Grouch.
It's Aesop Fables. It's Eli. It's Picasso. And it's Scarab. And you might know my other little brother, but he's like inactive, but he's active, Merce.
Merce, yeah, that's
who
right.
I raised as well up in East Oakland. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's right.
What is Merce? Merce grew up in, where did Merce grow up?
Merce grew up in Mid-City here in L.A., right?
Okay.
But then he went away to college in Santa Cruz, Cabrillo College, and then that's where we kind of all met up and stuff. And he was already cool with Eli and Scarab, the other two people in my group, because they went to junior high and high school together. So it just kind of came together because we were living in Santa Cruz with the guy Lachlan. I don't know if you remember back in the day, 4080, Little Buster.
Yeah, 4,000.
And
you
so
said Little Buster.
Little Buster, but it's all good. I had to throw the old school term on a Little Buster ass Buster, but it's all good. He did what he needed to do. Yeah, 4080, and he was shady himself, but that's a whole different world.
The white boy?
Yeah, it's the white boy, man. That's how I met Eric Arnold too. I don't know Eric Arnold as well.
Yeah, I know Eric.
So basically, he got, we were all like-minded, like I said, like-minded people. We got together, and at this time, we were throwing our own shows, and I was like, Merce, you're dope. I appreciate your energy and all that stuff. You're going to be down with us as well. And then, next thing you know, he moved to Oakland with us, and we got this warehouse. Me and Lucky I Am and Picasso and Big G, we got a warehouse on 58th and East 14th. You know what street I'm talking about. International. We'll let that go.
Yeah.
And basically, the rest was history. We start throwing shows at Jackson Street Studios, you know what I mean? We start throwing shows anywhere. Honestly, if you had a backyard, we would throw a show there because nobody was giving us love. And then it got to a point, we did a show with the Loonies. It was Mystic Journeymen, the Loonies, the craziest lineup ever. They did the pop there, of course, because it's the Bay. It's the Bay.
Yeah.
And we just started building up that momentum. And Merce, he was just always down with us. And I love that brother. And he did great for himself.
Man, he's giving you a lot of beautiful history in a nutshell. But the Sunspot Jonz should have your own docu-series of just telling your Bay stories because what you learned through that point. Y'all used to also collect canned foods.
Yeah, so what we did is at our shows, we were so broke, unsigned and hella broke. That was the name of our thing because, we were unsigned and hella dope, but we were also not making the money that all these fake commercial artists were pretending to make. You know what I'm saying? So we were, like I said, we built a community. Our whole thing was about building the community. So we threw a show at Flankers, which is on Hagenberg, another place that had the pop, but, we changed the whole community around. And it was a thing of like, we start saying, you know what, I don't want to charge you all this money to come because we know people in Oakland, at this time, a lot of our friends too, they didn't have jobs. They're big dreamers. We're going to charge $2.99 with a pack of top ramen to get in. And trust me, we ate that top ramen, bro.
Oh, y'all really ate it?
We ate that top ramen.
I thought y'all was giving out to the needy.
Hey, we was the needy, brother. We was the needy. All right now? All right, we ain't lying about it. So, and then, after a while, we moved to Maritime and the Fillmore in San Francisco, and we started charging $2.99 with a pack of Twix or a pack of Starburst. We always just try to keep it like kind of, we didn't want, a lot of people, this is the thing that's wrong with our industry.
Okay.
People are always trying to get, in America right now, people are trying to get as much money as they can out of you, trying to bleed you dry. We don't see that as family. We don't see that as community. We all need to be a part of this whole thing. So we're going to charge you exactly what we know you could pay.
Yeah.
And that's how it started off. Now, we need a little bit more of that money just so we can, because, the price of living, and all that stuff has changed, and we want to build bigger things. But back then, it was about, and it still is, it's all about the community, and it's all about doing stuff for all of us.
Yeah.
Not just the money.
That's what I love about Living Legends, Mike. I know you learning right here. I see you taking in information.
Hey, we got the gold chain swing.
Yo,
so
y'all supposed to go change
twin?
man. You
What
want to
up,
ask them
twin?
something, Mike? Jump in, man.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by the concept that you have of community, and I felt like you were redefining and creating community before that became a moment, like on social media. How do you look and view the community now as a part of the business model?
Well, I still think it's a very important part and aspect to this whole, thing that we call hip hop culture. Like, we started doing shows back in the day, another place called La Pena, La Pena Community Center. Shout out to Elena, shout out to Paul, Greg, and it was a thing of like, without the community, there's no understanding of what we're doing. There's such a short term as an artist. You know what I mean? That you have. Like, a lot of people, they get the record deal, and they might be big for that year. They might be big for like 6 months. But once that's over, it's over, because you know what? We never understood who you were. We never understood what you were doing. We never understood where your heart was at. It was so important, especially for me. That's why we created the magazine, Unsigned and Hella Broke magazine, because, they wouldn't put us in the magazines. We're like, we learned from the Gilmore. We learned from the punk rock, the whole thing. Like, go out there, make the community yours. That's the only way you're going to survive. That's the only way we're going to see you. After all these endeavors that you might do collaborations and partnerships with, after they're dead, we want to know that you're still alive. We want to know that you still have a art. Yeah. You have something that you're giving to the culture. And that's what we're about. That's what I'm about. And so community is 100% about that. I grew up in foster homes. I was adopted at 4. Grew up in foster homes from 4 until about like 15, 75% of my life, because me and my moms, we had problems and stuff. Every time report card day came out, it was a bad day. But, we'll let that go. But it was a thing of like, I needed the community in the foster homes. I needed the community, my foster brothers, my foster sisters. I needed the community when I got older that were all the fans that came, they were foster brothers and foster sisters too. We might not have been connected by blood, but we were connected by mind. We were connected by heart. Community is the number one reason why I do everything I do, because I want to build an understanding that people that are like-minded like myself and have the same kind of heart like myself, you will be seen. You are important. You are a part of every reason why we do what we do. And thank you. That's what I'm about. Community. That's why it's so important.
Sunspot Jonz, Jonz. Get that man a round of applause.
That was awesome, man.
When you talk about your mom, you mentioned on the song MacArthur Blvd, that's on the Bad to the Bones Part 1 project. By the way, MacArthur Blvd is probably the longest. Is that the longest street in Oakland, and it runs outside of Oakland, right? That. You talk about your mom packing that heat.
Oh yeah, pop.
Yeah, your mom used to carry a gun.
Yeah.
What was that dynamic with your mom and you?
Well, my mom, she's from the South.
Okay.
She's from Monroe, Louisiana. And if you know anybody from Monroe, Louisiana, or Louisiana, the South period, they do not play.
Yeah.
It's only so much lip they're going to take before it comes out.
Okay.
And, my mom, sadly enough, she kicked me out of the house for not getting her a pack of cigarettes when I was in 12th grade. And she was like, go get me some cigarettes at 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, dang, Mom, why didn't you tell me earlier? She said, dang, you just curse at me? Went and got it. Kicked me out.
Really?
Yeah.
Went and got it?
Went and got it. Kick me out because she only takes so much lip. She don't play games.
She pointed it at you, just got it.
No, she just got it and just had it in her hand. She didn't have to do that because I already understood what was up. I seen her do it already to other people.
Okay.
So, yeah, my mama, she just one of them people that, I'm really thankful my mother is who she is because, I can deal with anything.
Because of it.
Because of this. You know what I'm saying? She didn't raise no punk. If it's time to go, let's go. And she taught me that. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, she just did not play. And whenever there was anybody that had anything to say to her that she didn't like, she had that right there.
Man, Sunspot Jonz,
Wow.
and you mentioned that on the song MacArthur Blvd. And you making a song called, you made it in the 510, which is the area code we grew up in, MacArthur Blvd. This is a landmark in Oakland that you don't. We take it for granted, right?
Like, I love MacArthur Blvd. All my favorite restaurants is on MacArthur Blvd.
See, and so listening to the song, I was like, I never really looked at MacArthur Blvd like that, but these streets be telling the stories of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be there's landmark corner stores, grocery stores, things that done happened on that boulevard, right? What made you spotlight MacArthur Boulevard?
Well, MacArthur Boulevard, once again, was a street that I was just on every day because I had to get home, whether I was on the 57,
Bus line.
riding to go to Bret Harte, to go to, Berkeley, to go to Berkeley High. But it's also the street that I ran home when I was late for curfew every day, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom did not play. I had to be at home when that sun went down, you feel me? And they had the Luckies there. I don't know if you remember the Luckies.
I remember the Luckies,
yeah. So that's the place where I first got my first job, not as inside the job. I would be the kid in front asking people, could I carry your bag for 25 cents or 50 cents? The independent spirit started already when I was like 6 or 7 years old, you know what I'm saying? And then there's the car wash right next to Giant Burgers where I asked, can I wash your car for a couple of dollars, you know what I'm saying? So I went to school in different levels, whether I was actually going to school or I was learning from the streets right there. All the drug dealers that was at the car wash were like my big brothers. They taught me about the streets, you know what I'm saying? John Sweat, which was another school that was down the street. I went to that, you know what I'm saying? So all my best experience, worst experiences, learning experiences all happened on MacArthur Boulevard. That's right. I went to Skyline. I took the 79 up from High Street off of, MacArthur.
You went to Skyline?
That's right.
How'd you get in?
Mama did that little, that little thing.
She carried the gun? She carried the gun?
Nah, she didn't carry the gun up there, but, we lied about the address like a lot of people. I should have been going to Fremont.
Okay.
But if I went to Fremont,
High Street,
I would have been a whole different person. Let me tell you, because I would have had to keep up in a whole different way that I had to do at Skyline. When I got to Skyline, I started seeing the hills. I started seeing the flats of Oakland. I started seeing, not just nature. I started seeing the heights of where you could go, black people in the hills, something that I didn't really see before, like on Handsome, you know what I'm saying? On streets that I wasn't going to because I didn't go to school there, Montera, all that up there. I was like, oh, Montclair, oh, what's this up here? You know what I mean? So, once again, Berkeley High and Skyline taught me higher elevation, where I could go.
The irony is these places he's speaking of, Skyline, it take you 10 minutes to get up that hill. Yeah. But it's a lifetime away.
Whoa. Wow. It's a whole different world.
Like I grew up in the flat, what they call the Flatlands, 23rd Ave in High Street with my grandmother, and we always see each other. A whole nother world.
Whole different
between
world.
Piedmont, between Skyline.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, another thing with MacArthur Boulevard, once you pass MacArthur Boulevard, it's a whole different mentality. Yeah. Everything below, past Walgreens and all that stuff, it's a whole different thing. By the liquor store, with the meat market liquor store down there before you get to Foothill, it's a whole different mentality. Once you start going above MacArthur, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is Oakland?
Yeah.
This is Oakland? Redwood Heights? People happy up here?
Yeah.
I'm at Lincoln Square getting sodas and people are smiling at me. What's going on?
Yeah, they saying hi.
They saying hi. They not, you know what I mean? There was eye contact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That MacArthur's that divider line of mentality. When you guys were coming up, there was a lot of activity still in the mid-'90s, early 2000s that was happening in the Bay. You mentioned the Loonies. Of course, Too Short, Spice One. E40, all of these, Sway and Tech. We signed a major record label deal. That was in the early
Follow
90s.
For Now, Rock the Hoes.
There you go. So, we were even major labels, record deals, but y'all, but we got out of that deal and started doing the Wake Up Show and started doing more stuff independently. But who were some of those artists that y'all had relationships with in the Bay?
So, my big sisters, I love them to death. The Conscious Daughters.
Oh, my gosh.
Carla, R.I.P. Carol.
Yeah, rest in peace.
They would, Carla would always have parties at her house, and she would have artists from the East Coast, at her crib, like Method Man or Inspector Deck or something. I'd be like, whoa, we could touch this. We can all be a part of the same thing. She also would have Sugar T over there, who I was in love with when I was a kid. There's no lie about that.
The Click.
The Click, you know what I'm saying? Too Short, I didn't meet him over there, but he is a major, major influence in my life because he was grown. He was out the trunk. Yeah. He was one of the first people to do it out the trunk. And, he spoke his mind, and it was the beats just hit. And Banks, one of the best producers to come out of Oakland, you know what I'm saying? Always had slap. And these were the artists that I looked up to, but the artists that, I met early was Dell. Dell and me, he grew up around the corner from me. We used to exchange cartridges when we were 12 years old and stuff. He still has my Castlevania. We talk about it sometimes. And I let it go. But
no, it sounded like you didn't.
Castlevania. It was Game Boy, man. Game Boy. But no, So these were some of the people that I was around, but definitely Conscious Daughters, Carol and Carla, they showed so much love because they were just in a different spectrum of hip hop or what they were doing and what we were doing, you know what I'm saying? And they still looked at me as the same as what, hip hop was, where a lot of times we're funny style to people because we're not talking about hoes, we're not talking about money, we're not talking about cars, we're not talking about certain aspects. We're not Oakland enough. We're not rapping on funk and stuff like that. We're not Oakland enough. You know what I mean? Even though I grew up in the trenches where people would be afraid to go to after 6 p.m., you know what I'm saying? But we are not Oakland enough because we are not being niggerish enough. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of times it was racism. A lot of times people look at this stereotype understanding of this archetype of who you're supposed to be, and you never, ever was that. And you never wanted to be that.
Yeah.
So, that's another thing, I feel as a dark-skinned brother, you as well, we fighting that whole profiling of what people think we are before we even open our mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Look at it like that. Sunspot Jonz, man. Yeah, it was racism, too.
Yeah.
And
against ourselves, too.
It's against ourselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, when you come from there, a lot of people was rapping about shit they never did.
Yeah.
They just knew how to speak the language.
Yeah, or their cousin did it, or their brother did it, or someone died on their block and they doing the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen dudes become hardcore thugs as they became rappers.
Yeah.
But they went to Bret Hart.
It's a dress up. It's a dress up, man. Well, Bret Hart got some hard.
Well, we did have some.
We got
a lot of. Yeah, right. Man, Sunspot Jonz is here. Get this man a big round of applause.
Hey.
I saw you guys in Hawaii recently, and I was so happy. That just to see, man, that it's 2025 and y'all living in your dream, living in your purpose, and it's great to be able to be in Hawaii, and I know you always conscious of what's happening in the mainland and around the world. But at the same time, y'all were in Hawaii, we were seeing what was happening with ICE, and what's happening with immigration right here in this country. And I know you always have you're outspoken about your thoughts, right? What is your thoughts about what you're seeing right now, what's going on now, and how things have gotten out of control?
Okay, there's a couple things I want to build on with that. First and foremost, Hawaii is one thing that was able to happen to us because I always tell other artists, if you're true and loyal to your art form, it'll never turn its back on you. It'll always be there for you. That's why we were there and we were able to keep going and being there. I went to college there too, Chaminade University on Oahu, a liberal arts college, and I went there straight out of Skyline. And, I was able to see how that world is. Hawaii is really tourism is kind of taking over, the island politics of how things are. So now I want to relate that to how ICE is and how I've seen the whole thing ICE. Same thing. Tourism runs America in a lot of aspects, and the people that are working behind in these jobs are not the people that are really coming up off of the whole tourist moment. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to farm workers that are feeding all of us, basically putting food on all of our tables, going out there and picking and cultivating the crops and making sure we can have, regular lives, they're not getting nothing out of this moment. So when I saw it, I was reminded, how Hawaii and tourism is kind of messed up. It's hella messed up the island. It's messed up America, and it feels like everyone's talking about immigrants and foreigners and all that. Let's get this straight. Everybody on this land is a foreigner, except a small percentage of people, the indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Ohlone tribe. You know what I mean? And it's a thing of I feel if you want to sit there and tell people what they can and can't do, then honestly, you got to look at yourself too. And the people that are making the rules, the people, even Gavin Newsom's punk ass, I'm sorry, I shouldn't even say that, but I did. Even Gavin Newsom's punk ass, I feel like these people are so out of touch on what's going on in America, and they're the people that are making the rules. It's all wrong, and ICE going and breaking up families, and ICE, probably themselves, are the people, the same races, the people they're kicking out. Some because everyone is a diverse, hiring system. it's a sad moment. And it's sad for America, and it's sad for our community, and it's sad for us to see that we are isolated. We are kicked out of places that we deserve to be, because if you're helping build up this country, you need to be here because we need help.
And you earned it.
Yeah, you earned it.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing to black folks. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, we were allowed to come here, and then all of a sudden we weren't citizens. Oh, we weren't citizens from the get, but they wanted to make it so we weren't citizens. We couldn't vote and all this stuff. This is the same pattern that keeps going on and on and on. And the only time we're going to see each other as people, same blood, is when the aliens come down and we're like, hey, we're humans together. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time. Until then, it's going to be this skin thing. The skin thing has nothing to do with the blood inside your heart. You know what I mean? But they want to play off us. They want to divide us. They want to make us feel incompetent. Then you know what's going to happen? It's going to be this civil war in the long run, and you know who's going to lose, and you know who's going to win. And that's the sad part.
Yeah. Sunspot Jonz, man. I love always hearing your opinions and your perspectives. You out there on the ground. He got the new project, Bad to the Bones. Part 1, I'm featured on it.
That's right.
I'm featured. Matter of
Follow
fact,
for now. Rock the hoes. I was fucking with that when you was talking, but I didn't do it.
The Beach Boys is great American music.
This me right here. Hold it. I swear, man, people should be hiring me to do interludes at this point.
Hey, you just killed that right there.
That was great, bro.
That was great. Hey, and the best part about that is it wasn't nothing fake about that. Really, we got history, and it's amazing that even after all these years that we can still come together and share our history and share, what we went through, because it's so important. Like I said, black men, we need to be together and rise each other up, because, it's always going to be some sort of, obstacle, it seems like, against us, and we got to be, as warriors, be together.
I love that. I'm with you, brother. That's
man.
Why we here today.
That's why we here today.
Okay.
And that's why I'm working on children's books now. I don't know. I was telling you.
Tell me about that. Yeah.
I do children's books now, and I'm trying to teach kids, how to get together. And the first book I did is called The Dentist and the Fire-Breathing Dragon, and it's about oral health. And that's also, teaching kids at the Fairyland. I tell you every year. And now I have a event where it's a hip-hop health fair where we give resources to the community, and we let people come out and learn about themselves, also learn about hip-hop. We have hip-hop workshops, my nonprofit hip-hop scholastics, along with my boy Atoko Garcia, and we come, and also Martin Luther King and the Acorns, we come and we show people, how to better themselves and get resources that are offered to you and learn more about your heart and where we go.
I love it, man. Sunspot Jonz is here, man. I keep saying his name because I want y'all to follow him and pick up his project, stream it. There's a lot of game, a lot of gems in the project, Bad to the Bones, Part 1. We got Alex on the line. Alex, welcome to the show. Where you calling from, Alex?
What's up, Alex?
What's going on? Good morning. Roseville, California right here.
Okay, all right. Welcome to the show. 888-742-3345. So talk to Sunspot.
First-time caller, long-time listener.
Oh, hold up.
By the way.
First time.
Uh-oh.
First time, Torch.
Hey, what's good?
Okay.
And I'm a road warrior as well. Look at.
And we got a road warrior up in here too, Torch.
Hey.
Come on, man.
Just want to give Sunspot his flowers. Long time. My boy put me on to your music, Living Legends and Mystic Journeymen. Angels of Dirty Faces. That's one of my favorite tracks.
Our respects, man.
Yeah, and right now too, Mystic Journeymen. Who did the beats for all you guys?
Now. Dirty Faces I produced, and right now Grouch and me produce that. And a lot of times, it'd be inside. That's one of the first things I started doing was making beats. And from there, I get the homies to get into. And like a lot of Legends beats are made by Eli. And yeah, it just depends on what song. But Dirty Faces, I produced that. And right now it was Grouch, and I added, a little flair to it.
Great
right
question,
on,
man. You really in it, huh?
You listen. That's right. Legends,
yeah, man.
baby.
Yes,
Hey, how
sir.
many solo albums have Sunspot Jonz put out? Take a guess.
6.
Nah, the damn near double plus some.
I meant 16.
Put out
I
what,
meant
15? 16? 16.
16, okay. No, it's 20 actually.
20?
And that's my own solo. I got Mystic Journeymen albums.
Uh-huh.
You know, I got Living Legends albums. I got Stony Hawk albums. I got Skywalker. I got different incarnations and my own. But yeah, definitely, it's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them, Alex. So you got a lot of listening to do, man. Thank you for calling up, brother. You're a super citizen.
Sway in the morning.
All right. Thank you,
All right,
Tracy
thank
G. Tracy, you wanted to ask him a question?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Sunspot, I rock with you, bro. Sincerely.
Hey, respects, mama.
Like,
thank you.
The way that you illustrate this rich history, you know, Sway, he can freestyle an entire encyclopedia worth of knowledge and lived experiences about Oakland. And so the point that you can still teach me things is incredible. And I also love that.
Thank you.
You know, when you're speaking about your origin story and then who you are now, what's been consistent is your level of zeal and ambition, you know, for this culture. You care not only about your immediate community, but about the community at large. And so I just love that we are able to hear this and blast your words on these airwaves. I'm wondering...
Thank you.
You're very welcome. On the flip side of consistency, I'm curious about perhaps what has changed in maybe your beliefs or your approaches when you first founded Living Legends versus where you are now. Do you have any different beliefs from when you were, you know, back in the 90s versus 2025, or different approaches to community building and business?
I mean, I think, for one, me and Lucky, I am founded Living Legends. My whole understanding of who I am as a person, of course, has grown as I gotten older. I thought before more, I mean, in the beginning, I was really about not trying to impress people, but I was cognizant of like what I was doing and how I affected people, and made sure that at least I saw a boundary, you know, so I could still be legible in understanding of what I'm doing. Now, I don't give a fuck. Now I'm more like, it's heart all out. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need to hide nothing from nobody. I don't need to pretend that I see a boundary, because there is no boundaries. There's only ways that you can like show your heart and show the energy that you're trying to do, and show like, you know, the trueness. Because this is all the trueness. This is all what makes the trueness. The more realer you are about who you are and your feelings, the more the listener can be real about themselves. They can be on the movement of being captivated by the art as well. It's so important for you to be honest, you know? And I think as I got older, I just wanted to be more and more honest, where before I hindered that a little bit because I was scared, because I was young. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't scared in the sense of like I was trying to hide all this stuff. I just felt like I said, there's a lot of archetypes about people coming out of Oakland. I feel like, you know, I fell into some of them as a young person, you know, of like, okay, I'm going to just only show this much and not really show this. Now I'm like, I'm showing everything, because if I don't show everything, then that means I'm not giving the listener a chance to free themselves. Right. If that makes any sense. Definitely. Like I see my art, whether it's illustration, whether it's movie making, because I make movies, I animate, I make beats, I make music. If I am not being truly honest in every aspect of this art, then I am being a fake person, and I'm not allowing the person to release themselves. And it's so important that I can help you understand the power in yourself, if that makes any sense to you.
Amen.
Sunspot Jonz. That makes a lot of sense, man. Let's give this man a round of applause. Real quick, two-part question. Who are some of the newer artists that you collaborated with, if at all, or that you paying attention to?
People I've collaborated, I don't know if they're new, but there's Blue from Exile and Blue.
Oh, yeah, Blue, yeah.
Blue is one of the most amazing rappers I've
Blue's
heard.
dope.
I have old school homies that I collaborate. Tash, like he's on the album too. Tash from Alcohol, one of the rawest rappers I think that's ever been. When it comes to new, I'm not really a big like Playboy Cardi moment. You know, I'm not really on those things. Travis Scott, though. I mean, I respect Like I respect black men doing their thing, and I appreciate like the heights that they've gone with their whole art and all that stuff. I'm still like, you know, I still listen to like stuff. I still listen to 50 Cent. I'm not gonna lie, stuff like that.
Come on,
I still
man,
listen to
that's
Too
legendary.
Short. You know what I'm saying? I still listen to, you know, I'm still listening to Dangerous Dame. If you remember that, brother, you know what I mean?
Dangerous
Come on,
Dame, man.
I
Rest
mean,
in power.
I'll bring old school. I love Ascari X. I love Bored Stiff. If you know Bored Stiff out of Frisco, man. The Derelicts, old school hip hop, but it's still, you know, it's still new to me because I still find, you know, new stuff whenever I listen to their stuff. But and I listen to, I mean, I know people hate Kanye. I love Kanye stuff too because you know, it's another level of seeing it in a pop way. I love. I'm trying to think who else do I really.
That's good, man.
I listen to a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Kendrick, did you?
I love Kendrick. Come on now, come on, all day. Kendrick, Keem. I think that I find a little bit. I mean, what Quincy Jones said this. He said, "There's only good music and bad music." You know what I'm saying? If it's good, I'll listen to it. I don't care what kind of genre it's from. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting there listening to iHeartRadio, though. I'm going to tell you that because, like, you know, that's more of the poppy thing. But, like, I'm listening to stuff that's good and it's enriching to the soul. That's what I'm about.
Okay, man. And then finally, Living Legends, man. I feel like the first time I really got a chance to talk with Grouch and meet him was at Soundset. In Minneapolis. A couple years. Yeah, we was all staying at the same hotel, you know, and I was like, damn, shit. And I walked away from that like, I've known this man, known of this man, known of the movement, but I've never really had a real conversation with that dude up until that time. That was a few years back. But I was so happy, you know, to place the face, the body, the person with all the Living Legends. What's next for the Living Legends, bro?
Well, my brother Grouch also has a name, me, Corey. We're both Corys. He just dropped a new album called The 50-Year-Old Rapper, and it looks like the 40-year-old virgin. The cover is pretty funny. But that's new with him. I have a new album that's coming out called The Purple EP. It's kind of based off my album, Purple Kush, or my song Purple Kush. And as far as Living Legends, we did an album when we played Red Rocks last year. We got a house in Colorado for maybe 10 days, and we got with this producer, Starsky and Josiah. They're called the Chef Boys, and DJ Fresh, one of the dopest as well.
He was just on the show.
Okay, that's my brother. And we basically put together a new album. We haven't named it yet, but we have a new album, and we're playing Red Rocks again. It's going to be our 5th time playing Red Rocks. And it's going to be us, Atmosphere, Hieroglyphics, Dilated People. It's going to be a dope. You need to be at that show.
I was going to say, I need to be at that show.
Yeah,
what is
it's going to be lit. It's going to be on September 19th, 3 days after your boy birthday, Virgos. Virgos in the house. And, yeah, you already know. And, so basically what we're doing is we just keep going, man. We're not stopping. There's no reason to stop making art, you know? I mean, we're not the most famous group in the world, but we're not the least famous group in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we've taken it around the world. Like I said, I've gone to Norway, Amsterdam, UK, France, Australia, Japan, Philippines. That goes on and on. I've been able to go around the world with this art. So the whole idea is just to keep showing this heart through this art and letting people know that Oakland ain't nothing to play with.
There you go, man. Sunspot Jonz, man. Living Legends, Mystic Journeymen, brother from another planet.
Let's
Come
go.
on, man. He's here. Bad to the bones. Out right now. You got me something?
Oh, yeah, I brought you.
All right, Town Business.
First and foremost, I create brands. So this is one of the brands I make. This is Oakland, the town, the Bay.
Oh, you got me a knit cap?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, 'cause I know you love them hats, man. You used to wear the big hats. Now you got smaller hats.
Yeah,
there you go.
He saw the whole evolution.
Hey, I seen the whole evolution right there.
I love this. This is nice.
And I'm making you an honorary member of the Living Legends today.
Man, I'm finally
with the
got my
sweat.
shirt.
Yeah, you got your shirt, brother. You got your shirt. It looks just like this.
Living Legends.
Put your name in the front. There we go. That's what we do, man.
With the name.
I'm going to wear this in September.
Hey, there we go. You show up. You better show up, man.
I'm coming through.
Hey, that's what's up. And I want you to know I make all my stuff at home. That's another thing. Taking the independent spirit to the next level. I create all my art and merchandise at the crib. And that right there was made at my crib. And, you know, I package it at the crib, and that's what I do. I take independent to the whole next level on every aspect. Animator, filmmaker, editor, music maker, clothes maker. It don't stop. Love maker. Ask your mama. Ask your mama.
Ask your mama.
Right.
How many
Ask
kids?
your mama. Hey, none, baby. I do it right. I do it right.
Wow,
dog.
he makes
That's why I
love,
can't
not
keep
babies.
working. Hey, there we go.
Man. Sunspot Jonz. Y'all follow him at Sunspot, SUNSPOT JONZ.
Hey, and my email. My website, Suniverse. You got Sway's Universe. I got the Suniverse. Sunspot Jonz Universe. SUNIVERZE.com. Grab some merch. See what I'm up to. See the books. And I can't leave without giving a special shout out. A special shout out, not just to my cousin Kim, but also Brenda Johnson, my mama. I love
There
it.
you go, man. Hey, man, this is awesome, brother.
Hey, you already know, man.
We could do it again, too, man.
Hey,
Bring
I want to
the
come
fellas
back.
up
I got
here.
more thoughts and thoughts and thoughts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
come back. Bring the fellas up. Let's do get a cipher going.
Let's do it.
You with that?
And shouts out to Mr. Fab, too.
Mr. FAB,
That's
man.
right. That's
Always.
right.
10 toes down in the town right
You
now.
already know.
All stuck in the community. I
You
love it,
already
right?
know.
Come on, man. I love you, brother. Sunspot Jonz, Mr. Journeymen, Living Legends. Get the new album, Bad to the Bones, Part What?
Sands.
You check out my track 7.
Oh, yeah. the hottest track on the album. The whole hottest track. Hey.
Hey, and then we gonna end the show with MacArthur Blvd, brother.
Can we do? Oh, and look out for my film. She's Got a Plan with Fatima Washington, out right now on Amazon.
Amazon?
Amazon.
What's it called? She's Got a Plan?
She's Got a Plan.
Did you produce it? Or
I wrote it, co-directed it, and I produced it.
I'll be watching it this afternoon.
You
All
know,
right?
we
There
don't
you
stop. Oakland don't stop.
Town business. And on that
Hey.
note, we got nothing
Hey.
left to say.